I just think it's inevitable. I think it has to happen. To be fair, like if clubs can post their highlights or whatever, but like, do you want to watch from the club? No, I want to watch like some. I want to watch like True Geordie like comment over like actual Newcastle goals, and then he just replied back with like just a job description. Was like, do you want it? I was like, yeah. It was like, yeah, come in for like a little test today. I was like, oh, okay.
Hello, one and all. It's early for me. This is 9 o'clock, and I'm not used to this. Or it might even be 9:30 by this stage. I have no idea. Usual suspects, me and Chris. It's actually Chris's birthday at the time of recording, so give him a belated one.
Yeah.
Give him a belated
I mean,
one.
I don't know when this will be out. It could be in like, I don't know when it'll be out.
We don't know.
The
The schedule's not very forgiving, but yes, he's finally an adult, people. So yes. This week we're joined by Ciarán, Carlin, man that works alongside WillNE, formerly Football Daily, editing Maestro.
Hey, yeah.
How are you, mate?
Maestro. I've never been called that, but thank you.
We apologise for the shirt in advance, but yes.
Yeah, we can't be having that.
It was either that or the Schalke one, but I'm wearing the Schalke one this week. For this one.
That's cool.
I think I compared that shirt on Twitter to the PowerPoint gradients you get.
Yeah.
I think that's probably
like word art or something.
Yeah, word art. That's where Man City designed that kit.
That's right. I got it for free, so
why not?
It's falling apart at the back, so I'm glad I didn't pay for it.
So basically, Ciarán, for those who don't know who you are, give us a brief background of what you do and who you are, basically.
I am both an editor and I guess technically a YouTuber now. I don't know. It's not my main source of income, so I'm not going to claim that word until it is. But I edit for WillNE, and previously I worked at Football Daily and Football Daily on their YouTube channel. So I've just been jumping around YouTube channels essentially, but it's great fun.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got, as you said, your own channel, which you've got 100k subs on, so congrats for that.
Thank you very much. Very exciting. Haven't got my plaque yet, but
it's on its way.
It's on its way, I guess. Amidst all the chaos that's ongoing.
You have to wait for like a code and like a whole thing. They haven't given me my code yet.
I'm sure you'll get it. But yeah, man, quite the mad journey the last few years for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I wanted to do like YouTube since I was in like year 8. I don't know how old you are in year 8.
13.
13.
14.
I used to watch the Corridor Digital YouTube channel. They did like little video game shorts and like just like loads of like VFX and stuff. And then that's sort of where I learned to edit. I just copied that. I just went on Pirate Bay and then just stole After Effects and Premiere Pro. And then I pay for it now. It's fine. Don't come get me. But yeah, that's I just learned it by just like trial and error. And then I got to where I am now at uni. I made a 5-a-side football team. You can still go on it now. I used to love #United. So I got my mate to film my 5-a-side game for Dench FC, which was just as a badge of Judy Dench. And the channel's still there now. It's got like 43 subscribers. It's just me and my friends playing football. And then I sent that to the company that owns Football Daily, and then I got a job and I worked 90+1 Facts, and then I moved over to Football Daily and then Football Daily sort of thing, and then I left for Will, which was good.
So talk about working closely with a guy who has got a massive following now. Obviously, it's grown rapidly in the last few years. Have you had to adapt much from Football Daily to WillNE?
No, to be honest. No, like it's sort of so at Football Daily, I was often given like the edits, like Stat Wars. Me and James were often given Stat Wars and the like, and some of the more like complex sort of creative edits, and that essentially is the same way I approach like Will's work, well, especially for his second channel. His second channel is just like editing, essentially like a Stat Wars episode of Football Daily, so it's not too dissimilar. His main channel's more. I focus more on his main channel stuff. He's got a couple other people who edit on his second channel as well. But his main channel stuff is much more like specific and finely tuned, which is just how it works really. So that's slightly different. But he's very particular and clear in his instructions. So it's just if you can follow instructions, then you're all right. But it's it's really good, and it's not like I don't feel like he's like my boss. I just feel like his mate. Because I just take the mickey out of him all the time, and he takes the mickey out of me, which is quite nice.
Yeah, so you're obviously working alongside Will. So what's he like sort of off camera? Because a lot of people always wonder what a YouTuber is like behind the screen. Is he exactly the same?
Yeah, he doesn't talk exactly like that, but like that. Right, okay,
right, okay.
But no, he's lovely. He's really nice. It was weird. I don't know when I first met him. Yeah, it was weird. When I first met him, I was just like weighing outside his big fancy place, and it's not really fancy. It's just high up. But then he comes down. He just like gave me a hug. He was like, "Oh, you're right, mate." I was like, "Oh, okay." No, and he'll just like take the mickey out of you just like immediately. But like you can tell he's just friendly. Well, I've never ever seen him make a meal ever. He doesn't he just doesn't make a meal. I just haven't seen it. I've been there for 10 hours one day, and he just hasn't made a meal. I'm confused. He just orders it. It really bothers me.
he lives on takeout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's a dream, to be fair.
To be fair, as long as they're healthy and he's happy, then that's the main. But yeah, on to Ciarán. How you really started to learn all the editing skills that you did. For those up and coming editors out there, what would you say is the key to learning all of these fancy stuff that you can do?
Get it wrong a lot. Just keep getting it wrong until you get it right, essentially. Because the only way when people are, how did you do that effect and whatever effect? And I didn't know before I did it. I just sort of, I learned how to mask one time and I kept getting it wrong, and then I learned how to do it better. And then when I think of another effect, I'm like, oh, okay, then I'll just mask that and put that behind there. And then, so it's just combining little things you learn. And then you just look at, so when I look at something, say any effect, I can look at it and be like, oh, okay, so that's how I would do it, or that's how they maybe did it. But yeah, the best bit is literally, it's just trial and error, constant trial and error. People like, what YouTube tutorials, is there any YouTube tutorials you watched or whatever? I was like, not particularly. There was probably, if there was something specific I wanted to learn how to do, but no more than ones that were 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and nothing specific, no particular channel. It's generally just take your camera, go outside, or download a clip off the internet, and then just try and just mess around in After Effects, just get it completely wrong, and then you'll get it right. Just watch stuff, find an effect you like, and then just spend an entire day or two trying to figure out that one effect, and then one day later on you'll be able to do it in 10 minutes instead of 2 days.
Yeah, I find that very much myself, as I'm sort of fledgling in that sort of stuff, is that it took me 3 months to find the razor tool on Premiere Pro. And then as soon as I found that, I managed to edit more than one video in a day. It was just it's like basic stuff, but it really...
It's always silly things like that. I went at uni, I did film production, and there was an editing module, and the stuff they sort of teach you is just I didn't learn anything from the editing at uni at all. I know more about cameras, but about editing, just nothing at all, which is a bit alarming. It's a good course though. But it's just there'll be bits now I'll find and be like, oh, has that been there the entire time in Pro? That's a lot helpful. It just and that's what happens when you don't learn it officially. Everyone will just find their own way to do the exact same thing. I've only just started being bothered to make my own keyboard shortcuts, which has quickened everything up a lot. But yeah, it's just laziness really. I've gotten to a point where I can get through it now in probably about a day. So
yeah.
No, that's impressive, man. But so going to because you went to the university route, which is considered, I guess, the more traditional route to get into the workplace. What was your intention when you were going to uni? Was it literally just to get into YouTube, or did you have like a sort of idea, like, oh, I want to work at the BBC or something like that?
I think it was always in the back of my head, YouTube. Sometimes at uni it was like, maybe I want to be a cinematographer or whatever. But I sort of learned I really didn't want to do that after we did like a final major project. It's just not that fun being on a shoot, to be honest. It's just they're so long. We did night shoots, so I had to for 5 days a week. What was it? I was awake between 8 at night. No, so I woke up at like 3 in the afternoon. We started shooting at like 8, and then we stopped at like 5 in the morning, and I went to bed at like 7. It was horrible. And I was just a focus puller, so I was just making sure things were in focus. And there's a whole person for that. But I think I wasn't going to go to uni. But then when you like at college, or whatever, at school, you get those people that come in and they're like, and you don't usually listen to them. They're like, oh, hey, you should go to uni because of this, or like, oh, this is my thing. Usually you're just like, and you go on your phone. But I actually listened for once. And I was like, oh, okay, I will go to uni, because I went purely for like freedom reasons. I didn't really want to. I just wanted to. I didn't have my own room at home. I just wanted to move out, essentially, and just sort of grow up. I like to think I'm independent, and I just want to be like quite really independent. Like at some point in my life, I want to live on my own, just because I feel like that might be quite cool. But like, yeah, it was more independence. I'm not bothered about my degree at all. I think it's above my wardrobe somewhere. It's not proudly displayed. I don't really know. I'm just saying, it's just over there somewhere. It's the most expensive bit of paper ever. But no, it's purely independence and friends and also equipment. If you go to, if anyone asked me, would you go to uni? I'd say yes, 100% every time. Everyone says about the money, but the money, like, it doesn't. It's like a teeny tiny tax. You pay less now than the people who paid $3,000 a year. So like, it's like, I think I had like £5 come out at my account like once. Like, it's really not. It's
you barely notice it.
Yeah, it's really not. So if someone's watching this and they're thinking about going to uni, please go to uni, and then just use all the equipment they have there. Go to a uni with loads of equipment. Don't worry about the course so much, just the equipment.
That's one way to look at it, I guess. I mean, obviously finishing uni myself at this stage now, the equipment side of it is probably one of the sort of biggest pluses, is you get to handle equipment that you probably normally wouldn't, unless you go on placement at places where it's accessible. But even then, like, most places won't let you touch it, unless you're extremely responsible, or they just trust you a hell of a lot. Usually they go hand in hand. But so obviously you finished up at uni, and it was straight into Football Daily from there, wasn't it, pretty much?
Yeah, I started working before I graduated, which was quite cool. I was really determined not to go home. Like, it sounds like I don't like my family. I love my family. I just didn't want to go back to Colchester in Essex, because there's just nothing there, really. And like, I wouldn't have had my own room or anything, and I'd gotten used to having my own room for 3 years at uni. And I just wanted, just more independence and to just grow up, to be honest. And so I did the classic New Year, New Me. Never done that before, but now every time I'm like, yeah. I used to be really, really cynical, and like on New Year's Eve, just be like, oh, it's just another day, shut up. And then now I'm just like, cool, what am I going to do tomorrow? Like, now I'm like, I'd rather go for a run tomorrow morning than go out the night before, which makes me feel old, or I don't know, boring. But so it was 2017, I think, New Year's Eve, and I was just at home. I don't think I went out. And I just spent, I think it was either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, I just spent like applying for like jobs. And there was one for the company that owns the Daily Diagonal View, and I applied for that. And then I had an interview, a little Skype one, with Dave, who is, goodness me, he is I love Dave, but he is just awful at organising a Skype interview. Just won't turn up to his own ones. You're sitting there being like, I put on jeans for this, but I wasn't finishing. I think Dave wanted to hire me, but I wasn't finishing uni till like June, and they wanted someone sooner. So then when it got to around April and March, maybe March, I still had Dave's email, and I was like, the job before sounded like the perfect job, because it was working in the middle of London where I wanted to be and making YouTube videos about football. I was like, this is the ideal thing. And I still had his email, so I just emailed him. I was just like, oh, hi, it's me again. I was just wondering if there's like any, or like, if the reason I didn't get before, if there was anything that I didn't have that you think I needed that would help me or whatever. And then he just replied back with like, just a job description. Was like, you want it? I was like, yeah. It was like, yeah, come in for like a little test today. I was like, oh, okay. I went in, thought I buggered the test today. I was like, I'll panic and whatever, because I was just stressing out. I was like, quite socially just, I don't know, it was just a lot. I get quite anxious. A lot less now, because I just sort of push myself through it now. It's just sort of diminished. But yeah, and I was like, just before I completely ruined it. And then Dave sat down at the end of the day. I was just like, so do you want the job? I was like, yeah, okay. So I got it, and then that was pretty much it. But he really liked the channel I mentioned earlier, the Dench FC, the Football Daily one, the 5-side football one I made at uni. So for anyone watching, if you want any job ever, just show them what you can do. It's way more important than a sheet saying what you could do. You can actually show them. It's so much better.
Yeah, it's one thing that comes up a lot at uni. It's like, they'll say, you're finishing with this X, Y, and Z. So I've always sort of looked at it and thought, well, if I've got, this experience on my CV, and then, this example of a portfolio of work and stuff like that, I would have thought that's probably far more vital to them than, say, I was elected student of the year in 2013 or whatever at college.
Yeah, you probably would have been in 2013, mate. You're that old.
God damn it.
Go on, it was always going to happen. But anyway, so what did you have to learn anything else on the job pretty much when you joined Football Daily?
No, this sounds really weird. No, to be honest. I think my sort of, I've gotten better at editing or whatever, and just learned bits and bobs. But no, I think I could write. I always knew I could do the job, because I had just made so many YouTube videos before. So I was confident. I knew how to edit. I knew, like, effects wise, I knew I could. I'd gone through their channels, whatever, and I knew I could make that. Which gives you confidence, and is pretty handy. But no, nothing in particular. It threw me off that, because I went to Southampton Solent, and it's a relatively new uni, but their equipment was just like, it was really high end, and and then when you go to places, like for example at Sky, because the company is part of Sky, and just anywhere, you'll find that their equipment is just so old. It's always so old, and they'll use, and people get into like habits of using like what they're just used to using. So I used to I've been only ever used a little SD card. So when I went to Football Daily, they had these massive Sony cameras, like huge broadcast sort of huge things. So I was like, oh, that must be really high tech. Just assumed so because it was big and it was a company. But they were like awful. The card you put in was like that big, and it took like 2 hours to get the footage off the card. And I was so confused. I was like, must be really high end. And then I literally had to learn that was just a bad camera because I wasn't filming the camera. I was just doing voiceovers for 90+1 at that time. So I was just like watching them all struggle with that, and I was just really confused because I was like, surely. But no, it's just a bad camera. But they got some bloody good equipment now. So if anything, too good to sit down.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I can vouch for the step up in equipment, because obviously watching it as a fan for so many years, and they used to talk about filming in the loft and stuff like that, which I'm sure you're obviously familiar with. When you compare it to the studio and stuff they've got now, it's like the step up in game is unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's always important to just keep trying to make stuff better. On YouTube, I find there's always a thin line, or at least for me, between me wanting to watch something and like not. So like if something's it sounds odd, but if something's too professional, if something's filmed exactly like a TV show on YouTube, I don't want to watch it. Like I come onto YouTube to watch something. I want people to be like sitting at home, or like I just want to look like there's no one between me and them, not like a producer or anything. I just want to know it's like me watching them directly, sort of thing. But I think Football Daily still have that. It's just got a lovely background. It's always that. Which I need to do. I bought some paint. It'll look better soon, but this room is dreadful.
Yeah, it's well, we're gonna have an updated background soon, guys. By the way, just gonna put that out there. So, but yeah,
Chris will.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, he won't. Yeah,
that's not changing.
To be fair, it's better than the bed one that you had, mate. So it's fine.
I've been sat on my bed for so long.
So for you, Ciarán, like working for an organisation like Football Daily, there's a lot of people there, and then just going straight to working for one person. Was there any sort of transitions that you had to make for that in terms of communication?
It was really odd being around, or because I was at Football Day like 2.5 years. It was really odd going from a big office full of my friends where it didn't really feel like I was going to work, because I was talking to all my mates and making videos, to essentially going around someone's flat and then it's just me and them. Was a pretty big sort of change. It felt really strange for quite a while. And then obviously now we're in lockdown, so now I'm just at home on my own. However, I do really like being at home on my own, which is strange. I feel like I thrive just sitting in this room. But no, I found it quite hard initially. I didn't realize how much I'd missed just having everyone about, like Sam Obaseki and James Wayne and George and everyone, and Joe just popping out with something stupid every 3 hours. Everyone bullying Zach, although I live with Zach, so we can still do that here. But that was tough. But after a while, I just sort of got used to it, got over it, and like it's not like Will isn't lovely. He's lovely. He's not 10 people.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So after a while, but no, it's nice. I talk to where I go on. We've got like a Discord, and we all talk whatever. I haven't left the Football Daily group chat yet. I don't talk in it, but I've just left it there just in case.
Just in case you need it. Just in case you want to share a meme.
Just turn up to wind someone up.
I mean, that's the best way to go about things sometimes. In terms of sort of professionally yourself, working between Football Daily and Will, so at Football Daily, your duties were different in the sense that, you started off just doing VOs and stuff like that, and then stepped into John Babb's shoes as the referee on Stat Wars, which I imagine was quite a task in itself. How was it between, going from what you were doing there to what you're doing with Will? Was it pretty much the same sort of thing, or?
Yeah, it was the same. And like, thankfully, I'd done a video with Will way before.
Yeah.
So then from that video, I was like, oh, okay, well, like it's really easy to get on with Will. Like I can, like, it just felt pretty natural. And so going from, I was never too worried about being on camera. Like, I think I just got used to it so much, and I had filmed videos and stuff on my own. I'd done vlogs. I'd done loads of rubbish that I just end up deleting, but I'll probably keep the ones I got now. And it felt pretty seamless. I never really had I'm not too phased by a camera now. If anything, doing the VOs was the more the more stressful part, because one, the VO booth is tiny, it's literally like a cylinder, and I obviously can't speak very well, so I don't know why I got the VO job, but I did for like a year and a bit, and that was fine. And then jumping into John Babb's shoes was strange. I don't know who thought of it. I think it might be Joe or someone. They asked me, and it was pretty cool. And initially, like, the comments were not great. And then, like, for like a month, I was like, oh, okay, I'm a bit like, I don't mind doing it, but I'm like, a bit bored of it. Not like, no one likes it. Like, I'm not asked. And then I just ended up just not caring what like people said, and then it just went much better. Like, after a while, you're just like, oh, they really are just like little sad people. Like, because the effort to comment on a YouTube video when you like it is quite a lot. So let alone when you don't like it. If I don't like someone, I'll just click off it. So like, I don't know. And the tiny people who comment they're just always like little sad people. So then when I just remembered that, I was like, okay. And then now I just not bothered. It just doesn't bother me, a comment or anything. No, it was but there's a little dip where I was like, but then after that, it's completely fine. All good from there.
It was very similar to Alfie from HITC we had the other day. He said exactly the same. Like, comments now are just water off a duck's back, really. And because you just realise, like, at least when people are wishing death on your family, you know you've made it. To quote him. But for you, Ciarán, in the coming years, how do you see yourself developing? Maybe your own channel developing, and will you still be involved in other people's channels when or if your own channel gets bigger?
I've never been particularly secret about the fact I just want to do my channel. I've always wanted to do it. That's the ultimate dream, because it's just like the freedom, and you rely entirely on yourself, and I quite like that. It's just like, it's up to you to get up and do it and whatever. There's no one like poking you in the back, which is quite nice. I sort of like that pressure rather than pressure for someone else. So yeah, I just want to do my own channel. I'm already far too busy to do anyone else's work apart from Will's. I'm essentially working like 2 jobs. If I'm not doing Will's stuff, then I'll do mine. But no, I just want to grow my channel, get it as big as humanly possible, and just like never look back. Just be like, yay, did it finally! It's going in the right direction. But yeah, I would like essentially just be in the same position as like I'm Alex, Will, Memus, and James Marriott, and everyone. Just like all really good friends, all jump in each other's videos and whatever, and then they're all successful on their own as well. Yeah,
I was going to say, do you find that those guys almost work as mentors for you in that sense as well, with, you know, growing yourself out?
Yeah, it's like quite a good like model to watch and also be around, and you learn a lot from them just like being around them. They probably don't think that, but I think I do. Just how they do things. They're all incredibly lovely people. Not very good at pro clubs, but Alex will just shoot from everywhere. It's irritating. He's lovely, but goodness me, man, pass. But no, the main sort of person, I'm more of I've never really had like an idol or a role model, but the people I sort of like motivated me or I've loved it, like Casey Neistat, and more like proper like work ethic people. Like they just go, they want to do something, they just do it. They're not really bothered about anyone else. They're my favorite kind of people, whether that's they're a YouTuber or they're just like a person. So like when you see was it like Mark Wahlberg getting up at like 4 a.m. to go to the gym, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get up at 4 a.m. I'm not gonna get up at 4 a.m, but I like to think I can get as close to it as possible. So oddly, they're the sort of just anyone who just wants to do something and goes and does it, makes it happen, they're my idol.
And how do you see sort of YouTube as a platform evolving? Because I'd imagine even in the time you've been on there, it's changed quite a lot in the way that it works. So how do you see it growing, in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think it seems pretty impenetrable right now. I can't see it, diminishing at all, or it's too big for anything to actually rival it. It's essentially just a monopoly, which isn't good in the grand scheme of things, but for me, pretty good. I think it changed after the whole PewDiePie thing, and you sort of got to actually make a living off it, you've got to sort of turn yourself down a bit. Not that I want to make those sort of jokes anyway. But so like you get paid by like a CPM, and then they can tell if you swear essentially, and it will be lower, like the money, the dollars per 1,000 views. And I'm okay with how YouTube is now. So like, as long as there's no more sort of like censorship, so as long as it doesn't all become like kids PC content, then I'm happy with it. It's fine. It was the whole like ad apocalypse thing was probably right, to be honest. The companies not knowing what they're putting adverts on. And do you want to put adverts on some of the stuff on YouTube? Probably not. But I just swear sometimes. That's fine. Yeah, I don't see it changing massively. I hope it goes a bit back professionally, like as in what I said earlier, as in like I don't want to be like, I hope it never evolves to just like TV shows. Like I hate seeing clips like Jimmy Kimmel on there and stuff. I can't stand that. But I hope it just stays like it is now for a couple more years.
Yeah, do you feel like it's kind of shifting towards a kind of TV focus and stuff like that? I mean, you've seen they started doing things like letting people rent films and stuff off there, for example. But then even in the content that's put on there, like as you mentioned, Jimmy Kimmel and people like that are putting all their stuff on there. James Corden does it as well.
Yeah.
Not that anybody should sanely watch anything that James Corden does, but yeah.
Hey, James Corden, if you want to sponsor us, mind.
No. I'll pass. But yeah, do you feel like that's kind of the direction it's kind of slowly heading in the sense it's becoming more TV-esque?
Yeah, it's everything, isn't it? It's wherever there's money, that's where it will go. Depressing, there's probably more money in that, and they'll get views. I don't know what they get views, but they do. It's like, I think the next step really for YouTube, the next massive one, is football. I think Premier League games will eventually be streamed on YouTube. I don't think there's any way around that. I think it will eventually be football. You just go onto YouTube to watch football. I think that's the next massive thing they'll do. But I think that'll be wonderful for like content creators if they can essentially monetize and get into. Because before they couldn't even post clips on like Twitter and whatever of the Premier League or anything, and then now they're like, okay, we can do it because people are just going to find them anyway, and you can have adverts on Twitter, so they monetize that. So I think that's probably the next big step, and if they can get that, so content creators can maybe use match highlights and whatever, that would be, I think, the next huge step for YouTube.
Have you sort of felt that's influenced by your time at FD then, in that sense, in the way that football's going to be the next big step for YouTube? Yeah,
because you just realise, you realise the 3 o'clock kickoff rule where you can't watch anything at 3 o'clock is stupid, and just so much stuff, and you're just like, oh, we could do this, and then you might have pushback from like, but at the same time you're doing that, but the company works for Sky, so you'll make a YouTube video to, oh, this would be great, but then the ideas you're thinking of would undermine Sky's like TV deal, like the biggest TV deal ever. So it's it's frustrating, but I think that's definitely it. I just think it's inevitable. I think it has to happen. To be fair, like if clubs can post their highlights or whatever, but like, do you want to watch from the club? No, I want to watch like, you know, some, you know, I want to watch like True Geordie like comment over like actual Newcastle goals, sort of thing.
No, that would be something to say.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Oh, come on! I love True Geordie. Love him to bits. Finally, from me, Ciarán, for yourself, for your YouTube channel and for other YouTube channels, what's been your favourite video that you've ever edited?
Oh, I've ever edited. Oh, let's have a look. Favorite one.
Oh, we'll give you a top 5 instead. The top 5's probably fairer. If you can pick out 5 or top 3.
I'll go on most popular. It tends to go with the views.
YouTube mindset, we love it.
I really enjoyed. Obviously the drinking Weatherspoons one. That's probably my favourite to edit as well because I spent a lot of time on that, especially the intro. I was really proud of that one.
But, it was very movie-esque. I remember that.
Yeah, I did. I learned like Google have this little online sort of thing, and it uses Google Maps. It's meant to be for like news casters or whatever to be like, oh look, this is where this happened or whatever. But and you can go on it, and it just gives you essentially it will render out a little video, and you can keyframe what you want. You can essentially keyframe your movement in Google Earth, and then it will give you like a video, and then it gives you like tracking data, so you can put in a big bit of text, and it will just move with everything like it's actually in the scene. So that's when I discovered that. I was like, that's cool. No one's done that before. And I spent a lot more time on that. So it is probably that one. And that's probably my favorite video as well. Because it sounds odd, but every other video for me, unless I do like a special one, if I'm just in here sitting on my chair, it's all like, it's just sort of like clockwork. Like I know exactly what I'm doing before like I've even started. Well, like when I'm filming it, I'm like, okay, I'll know in my head that's when I do that there. So there's not. Oddly, they're like the least creative ones for me, but they're no less fun. But yeah, definitely the drinking in Weatherspoons every 24 hours. That was good fun. And it was nice seeing people like Bambino and Becky do it as well. It was nice seeing other people. People really enjoyed that one, which was good.
Is that when you officially deemed yourself an influencer?
No, that was only yesterday when I got 10,000 on Instagram, so I can use swipe up.
Oh mate!
I logged on and it was just like, oh, you hit 10K. What would you like to be classed as? And it was like digital creator or public figure. And I was like, ooh, okay.
Mate, that's a dream. Then people could swipe up on my Instagram stories. I'm just like, link in bio, guys.
I know. Oh god, link in bio. Jesus, yeah, constantly. It's so annoying. I hate having to do that.
I did actually Google. I didn't realize you had to have a certain number. I was like Googling, how do you get this swipe up thing?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. Oh, anyway,
well, yeah.
get this.
Some way to go for Stonadge.
Yeah. Follow now, guys. Follow Stonadge now, guys. Come on. Yeah, Hasan, have you got anything else?
But yeah, no, last up for me, if you've got like sort of, if you could give advice to either like your younger self or other people kind of just cracking into the industry now, what would you say to them?
Oh, it's going to sound quite selfish, but like, don't worry about anyone else or what anyone else is doing at all. If you're ever comparing yourself to someone else, you've already done yourself in. Just entirely focus on you and making yourself better in every aspect. In not just working hard and learning whatever you want to work on, but make sure you do exercise and don't eat complete crap. It's just make yourself, just be the best human you can be and be nice to people.
It's pretty much the way forward.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
So yeah, thank you very much for coming on, Ciarán. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Lovely.
I'm sure you don't need it, but any social medias you want to drop to subscribe to or to follow?
Follow me on at Carlin on everything, because that was the only one I could have across all social media at the same time. And also subscribe to this channel, not mine. Don't worry about mine.
Yeah, subscribe to Winning Mentality, guys. Come on, you bastards. Subscribe. There's 77% of you that aren't subscribed. Why aren't you? It's free. Thank you so much.
And that's exactly why.
It's driving me crazy. But yeah, absolute pleasure. Myself and Hasan Karim. Close us out, mate.
But yeah, no, big up to Ciarán. Big up to Chris. It's his birthday, so be nice to him.
Woo.
Even if this is in the future, just be nice to him. He's a gentle soul. But yeah, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Ta-da.
Stay alert.